Welcome to round 2 of the second Starcross Cup. This one is going to be Vipuks versus RedxWings.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
We actually saw RedxWings playing against another opponent earlier, Tom of Action, who has been since eliminated from the tournament, we assume. Vipuks is going to be his next opponent. And Vipuks has actually already faked a Tier 1 tech structure.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
But opening only with conscripts before making his way up here towards the north with his combat engineers, and RedxWings has gone Ostruppen, of course. And is moving to take the center with those, and he was able to beat Tom of Action utilizing German infantry. I don't know if he's going to be able to beat Vipuks using Ostruppen. I think that's going to be a pretty tall order. Not that Ostruppen is a terribly bad commander, but Vipuks has chosen mechanized support, which means that there's going to be ISUs. And this map is actually not that bad for the ISU, as it actually does have a pretty big area here in the north, at least, where it can take full advantage of its long range.
Is here.
New units are ready to deploy.
We're losing men.
Conscripts moving to engage here on the south fuel. RedxWings has already taken control of the north. It doesn't look like it's going to get harassed anytime soon. Although there are combat engineers in the area, I guess they could go for it. Ostruppen here in cover, trying to defend the fuel, trying to focus down this conscript squad over here. And Ostruppen do take quite a while to kill. It's going to take a while to completely unseat them, and they do have their combat bonus from sticking in this yellow cover, I think. This one doesn't for some reason. We do have Molotovs researched, and that's going to prompt RedxWing to make a full retreat. Takes 3 nasty flame crits there, and does have to get out of there.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
More Ostruppen hanging out here in the middle. In fact, RedxWings hasn't even purchased a tech structure at all. He faked his own tech too. They both tech faked for some reason. Which doesn't actually even work, by the way. You can still tell if your opponent has built his structure or not by mousing over it in the fog of war, and if none of the little cover dots show up, like, you wouldn't be able to do this if the structure were really there, basically. For example, on the headquarters,
We have been granted access
it
to
just behaves a little bit
arms
differently
and soldiers.
if the structure is actually there versus if it's not, so
We have liberated the objective.
even faking doesn't work, sadly. Tier 2 going up here from RedxWings, going straight from Ostruppen to Panzer Grenadiers, I think?
We have our
I don't know. And he may field another artillery field officer, so he's got 2 Pio squads, 3 Ostruppen squads, and Vipuks has 4 conscripts as well as his initial combat engineers. Ostruppen forced to retreat through the fire. There is 1 flame crit there. Guy dies. But the squad will survive. Pioneers moving into close range to engage. Meanwhile, another engagement here. Molotov will force that squad to retreat. This squad in cover will probably also be forced away by all of these conscripts. Another Molotov on those Pioneers will force them to retreat, and RedxWings is getting himself Panzer Grenadiers now. And his map control situation is okay, but it's rapidly deteriorating. He's going to lose control of his 1 munitions point, although he is grabbing this one up here in the north, actually. So he's trading munitions, but he's completely losing all fuel. And fuel is very important for Ostruppen because there are no late game call-in tanks. You need to secure a fuel advantage early and keep it so that your medium tanks do as well as they possibly can before the Soviet columns arrive.
Standing by.
Hopefully these Panzer Grenadiers will help him turn things around, since his opponent actually doesn't have much of a solution to Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers are very good against conscripts, and they're very good against guards. So either way, Panzer Grenadiers should prove to be a good investment as long as he can get enough of them out and have a dramatic enough impact with them.
Minesweepers have arrived. Anti-personnel mines in place.
Teller mine in the road, which is apparently an anti-personnel mine according to those pioneers.
Enemy forces are securing our territory. We've added to the fatherland.
Under small arms fire. Taking fire!
Panzer Grenadiers moving to engage the conscripts in this building. They will vault the fence to get a little bit closer. Flamethrowers engaging these conscripts. Nice dodge on the Molotov, I think. Actually, that guy might still be standing in the fire a little bit, but the flamethrower is doing a lot of damage and the squad will be forced to retreat. Meanwhile, Panzer Grenadiers are getting flamed as well. And they'll... Ooh! 2 really lucky crits on the retreat there. I thought he was going to get away without taking any losses for a second, but nope. Wow! Was that the whole squad? Oh no, okay. I thought that flamethrower burst killed that whole Ostrophen squad for a second. 3 out of 4 guys though, still pretty bad.
The sector has been cut off.
That guy should probably not be standing in flames either. Lots of fire on this battlefield. Lots of reinforcement needs to happen here in RedxWings base, as well as healing. He's getting the medical bunker upgrade now, and he's only purchased himself 1 Panzer Grenadier squad. All the rest of his manpower is going into reinforcement, and of course the cost of this bunker, which is how much? 150, which is not that much, but it's still a setback.
The bunker has been converted to an emergency medical station.
Ostrophen trying to engage these conscripts, taking quite a bit of damage. The Molotov will force the retreat. This squad in cover will probably last a while, as they aren't quite durable, unless his opponent throws another Molotov or a grenade from those guards. Some reinforcement and healing happening here in Vipuks base. He has purchased the field infirmary upgrade, and he's also purchased tier 2. So he's planning on getting himself a field gun, I guess, at some point. He's going to need to contend with RedxWings tanks, but since he's still in tier 2, he has not even purchased battle phase 2. There's not going to be any tanks on the field for quite a while. So Vipuks situation, AT situation is probably fine for now. Panzer Grenadiers retaking that fuel there. Pioneers moving up to grab the munitions, try and even things back out. Vipuks has definitely had a lead over RedxWings for some time, and RedxWings definitely needs to balance that out if he doesn't want to get overwhelmed. Vipuks is actually going to go tier 3, so he's not going to be relying exclusively on the ISU-152, and once he gets his first vehicle out, RedxWings is going to have issues of his own dealing with that. He doesn't really have the munitions to get Panzer Shreks on this squad, but since he rushed tier 2, he will have access to the AT gun anytime he decides that that's a worthwhile purchase.
We are losing a sector.
But managing his manpower is also something he needs to keep in mind. He doesn't really have that much. He just spent a bunch on something. On Battle Phase 2, 200. So pack is a manpower expenditure, a tier 3 structure is a manpower expenditure. He has a lot of things he needs to spend manpower on, very limited amount with which to do it. Vipuks is going to have some kind of tier 3 unit on the field very, very soon. He's going to have to deal with that somehow. Panzer Grenadiers are engaging
HQ has been upgraded. Medium armor and rocket
those
artillery
guards.
is now available.
They will be forced to retreat. Red Wings taking control largely of everything here in the south, getting the fuel and munitions under control. We'll probably be able to get this center victory point. It's currently being screened only by that one flamethrower, while most of Vipuks squads here will reinforce in the base. And these two squads.
We are losing a sector.
Will take control of the north. As far as victory points, Red Wings has a very strong lead actually over Vipuks. And it looks like that lead's going to continue. He's now getting the north point under control, but Red Wings is taking control of the center and probably also the south.
Watch for counterattacks.
Grenade! Down! Fuck it down!
The enemy is taking our territory. Contact infantry. Infantry contact. Enemy forces are securing
Most
our
of Vipuks
territory.
forces making their way back towards the center. Look like they're pushing away a lot of Red Wings infantry. Red Wings still operating on only one Panzer Grenadier squad. As manpower is getting back up there, though, has to spend a bit of it on reinforcement. But he may be thinking about a second squad, or he may also be thinking about possibly getting a AT gun, which he's going to need as Vipuks T-34 is about to complete right now. 12.5 minutes in.
Under small arms fire!
Anti-personnel mines
Losing men here!
Molotov goes off on
Our
those
opponents are
Austrian.
seizing a sector.
Oh! Wow, that opening shot really hurt. That just wiped that squad. Coaxial machine gun finishes off the last guy. That definitely hurt. Red Wings' response is to get an AT gun now. But losing that full Austrian squad is definitely a problem. He's trying to take control of this fuel. And he's also built his tier 3 structure. He'll have enough fuel for a Panzer IV quite soon. Once he has the Panzer IV, in addition to his AT gun, he should have an advantage over that tier T-34, especially if it hits a Tellermine. And I don't believe Vipuks has a Minesweeper. I don't know if he plans on getting one either, since he's currently only got one combat engineer squad.
The tech gun is ready for
Dangerously
orders.
close to hitting that Tellermine, though. Here it comes. Oh no. That is terrible. Okay, well, I guess that Tellermine just didn't do anything. Who needs a Minesweeper when you can just run straight over mines and have nothing happen? It's the best form of Minesweeper. Everybody knows T-34s are the best Minesweeper in the game.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
Also, if people actually don't understand what just happened, it's a pretty common bug, T-34s. Some tanks, when they trigger mines, nothing happens. I have had it happen to me many times. It's on the issue tracker. So yeah, that's pretty annoying. And I also think Cruz's mod attempts to fix it with bounding box changes to tanks. But I could be wrong about that. Yeah, it was an anti-personnel mine. It doesn't do anything to tanks. Repairs going up on that T-34 pack, trying to move into position. Panzer IV is about to complete. Once it gets here, Red Wings will have some much needed firepower, try and turn the map situation back in his favor. He's rapidly losing his victory point lead. He was up by about 100 points. Now he's falling behind. But the Panzer IV is here. Vipuks is actually floating resources like crazy. It's a little bit early to be floating manpower for the ISU 152. It does cost 720, but it's about 3 command points until it gets here, so he needs to spend his resources on something, and he's actually getting an AT gun of his own, so this is going to be the phase of the game where both people have an AT gun, both people have a medium tank, and while they generally behave or perform a little differently, the way in which they need to use the units is largely the same. T-34 shot bounces, pack shot connects. Panzer IV misses its shot. Ostrupper moving up from behind to support. Conscripts moving to apply some pressure.
Standing by. Small arms fire. Ready for anything.
Withdrawing from...
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Man down!
Panzer IV moving up there. The field gun has arrived. Both shots there just landed. Oh no, get out of there! Wow, they both fired, but the T-34 shot missed. I'm actually not sure if that was targeted at the P4 or at the Pioneers, but that Panzer IV very narrowly got out of that situation. The T-34, however, is not in a much better health situation, and engagements continue to happen on the flanks of the map as well. Panzer Grenadiers with artillery field officer support will chase away those conscripts. Here in the middle, it looks like conscripts are pulling ahead. Ostrupen will be forced to retreat, but RedxWings is going to get control of the south victory point, so he will be able to turn the clock back in his favor after losing about 100 victory points. So he had to have a 100 victory point lead. Now he's 100 victory points behind. He's going to pull things back in the other direction hopefully here soon, but he isn't going to be able to triple cap his opponent's Panzer IV. Might take a second shot here. Oh, that was close. That was very close. Panzer IV just barely gets to safety, and the AT gun is not going to continue its pursuit. Pulls back to safety as well. Repairs going up on this T-34 are now going to finish a little bit earlier than the repairs on this Panzer IV, but all in all it won't make that big of a difference. Most of the healing here happening in the base has completed, and the conscript squads are making their way back out to various locations on the map to try and get some territory back under control. RedxWings is going to have total fuel and munitions control and victory point control once his 3 squads finish capping, so Vipuks needs to respond. First squad to engage will be these guards against flamethrower. One lucky crit from the flamethrower. There goes another one. Grenade goes off, but RedxWings will dodge it just in time. Meanwhile, up here, the Panzer Grenadiers managed to get away without taking any losses. Take a bit of damage. They should be able to heal that up, though. And here in the center, RedxWings has brought reinforcement to force these conscripts from the house. And his pack has moved up a little bit to assist against the T-34 as well. High explosive barrage goes off on the victory point, and he won't be able to capture that since these flamethrowers are moving up into the capture circle. And here in the south, the guards have pushed away the flamethrowers, so they're taking control of that victory point as well, giving Vipuks triple cap very soon, and RedxWings is going to rapidly start losing BPs again. His Panzer IV is about to be fully repaired though, and his pack is also Vet 1, so he will have access to target weak point, and we've seen him put that to extremely good use recently. It's so much more reliable ever since the bug associated with it was fixed, I think, making the pack even more powerful than it already was.
We have a mortar team available for deployment. We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers. Our base is under attack.
I'm hit!
We are losing a sector.
Ostrupen take heavy damage from the flamethrower there. They will get to safety after taking 2 losses. The field gun is moving up to engage the Panzer IV. The pack and field gun both just a hair out of range to fire on their targets.
are securing our territory.
Glickman now has vision. We'll be able to fire on the Panzer IV. That flamethrower gets away by just a hair.
German territory increasing.
And we actually have some Austrian trenches going up here. We also have some
I have liberated the objective.
squads healing up and reinforcing here in the base. And these two Pioneer squads are going to make their way up with Panzer Grenadier support to push away these conscripts. So all in all, looks like RedxWings is going to get control of the north. He's kind of struggling here in the middle, though. It seems like Vipuks' medium tank AT gun play has just been a little bit stronger, and that's probably because the supporting infantry he has is just a little bit better. He's got conscripts. RedxWings has Austrian, so he's not really able to hold his ground quite as effectively. Defending his pack and keeping it alive is a little more difficult with conscripts constantly harassing him. He also did lose that full squad of Austrian earlier, and that you can tell that that's kind of hurting him here. Whereas I don't think Vipuks has lost any full squads, and he's got himself a second flamethrower now as well. So that little lead is definitely helping Vipuks here in these center engagements. And and we now have an ISU 152 on the field as well. RedxWings has 150 fuel in the bank, so he's probably going to get himself another Panzer IV if his last game is anything to go by, but this is potentially going to be a serious problem. Misses his first shot, RedxWings will get the luxury of retreating that squad immediately. That shot missed, fortunately for him. Meanwhile, here in the north, the Panzer IV is assisting. These Pios will screen away those conscripts. It looks like the ISU has no intention of moving to assist there. It's not switching rounds either, so it's not going to be firing on tanks. It's just going to be used to try and clean up infantry squads. The T-34 is firing on these Austrian here. RedxWings spreads the squad formation a little bit so that they won't get one-shotted again. He actually dropped smoke with the artillery field. I was wondering what that was. I was like, what is that? Artillery field officer smokes them for some reason. He immediately retreated anyway, though, so I'm not really sure what that accomplished. And the ISU continues to engage here in the center. I don't think it's wiped anything yet, but it's probably just a matter of time.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Oh, except for this pack. It wiped the pack, and then apparently crew shocked it, whatever that means. Panzer IV is on that T-34's rear. Panzer Grenadiers catch that flamethrower, pretty out of position too. He will retreat. Panzer IV misses its second shot. The, whoa, what happened there? Oh, RedxWings has a mortar in this trench. Didn't even notice that. Mortar takes out a lot of those guards. And the Panzer IV is pulling well ahead of that T-34, which has fallen down to about half. Panzer IV has yet to really even take much damage. And RedxWings is going to try to get some territory under control here. He's also upgraded Panzer Shreks on this Panzer Grenadier squad.
Enemy forces are securing our territory. We have 200 points remaining.
And as long as this point remains decaptured, all of RedxWings' efforts in the south don't mean that much other than slowing the victory point clock again. Ooh, what just happened there? Did the squad get wiped? I think a squad of Pios just got wiped. ISU is going to be problematic for this trench. Panzer IV moves way back on the flank, but it gets buttoned. Oh no! T-34 shot misses. Oh, it just took a huge hit from that field gun, and the T-34 finishes it off. That is bad news for RedxWings. And he actually just spent a lot of fuel on redistribute resources, bringing him down to 94 so that he could drop railway artillery on something over here, I guess. I don't think that connected and hit anything though, and the Panzer Grenadiers will retreat. Oh god. And it has 27 kills, apparently. Wow.
Railway artillery at the ready.
We have small arms fire! Enemy panzer has spotted us! I'm so sick of these Russian assholes! Standing by! Taking losers!
Panzer Grenadiers in this house take heavy damage. They'll be forced to pull back. They haven't really done much with their Panzer Shreks. This thing's up to 33 kills already. RedxWings constantly being forced to retreat, taking heavy bleed every time. His mortar doing what it can. It's up to 7 kills, which is something, but it's not much. Another Teller mine's gone down here. Still no minesweeper from Vipuks, but it's in an extremely defensive location. Vipuks would have to get pretty ridiculously aggressive with one of his tanks to hit that. The ISU certainly isn't going to get that close to his base. T-34 might. More reinforcement and healing here, and he's actually applying pressure to this tech structure. If that gets destroyed, then he won't even be able to make any further tanks. He'll have the fuel for another Panzer IV soon. Whether or not he chooses to get one, I don't know.
We're going to be hit from the air!
He could have done so earlier, but he used this instead to give him access to railway artillery, but that didn't really hit anything.
The enemy is firing on our HQ.
Bomb run on the Panzer, or the support armor core, brings it to a little below half. And this thing has inflicted massive casualties and bleed, but I don't actually think it's wiped anything yet. I'm not even sure that matters, though. The amount of manpower bleed it's inflicted with 39 kills is pretty severe. And RedxWings definitely doesn't have anything doing that kind of economic damage to his opponent. This mortar doesn't even come close by comparison.
Enemy is taking our territory. Get down! Losing men here. Our HQ is under attack. We're under attack.
Strip in there, retreating. Panzer Grenadiers are attempting to make a flank on this ISU. He has the munitions. He had apparently a while ago the munitions for another Panzer Shrek squad. Moving in now. Ooh. And he's actually firing at the T-34 and now has to retreat if he doesn't want to lose either of those squads. And his manpower continues to just be at 0. Vipuks has 1,200 fuel in the bank, and he's pretty close to being pop capped. The economic damage that he's done to RedxWings is probably not reparable.
We have lost the squad.
Drops smoke to try to cover the advance of his Panzer Grenadiers. They're advancing again. He didn't even have the manpower to fully reinforce them, apparently. Losing squads, whole squads. On the advance, Panzer Shreks fire at the T-34 and then immediately retreat again. RedxWings has been reduced to basically nothing, and another squad gets sniped on the retreat. And there it is. Vipuks wins!